Hello, my name is David Southerland. I am a representative of the Sutherland Marketing Consortium, and I will be presenting as to why New York University should create a Division One football program. Firstly, we would like to extend our sincerest gratitudes to Dr. Andrew Goldsmith and the NYU Sports Marketing Consortium for this opportunity, hoping to change the school we all love for the better. And pictured right is a photograph from an old NYU football game against Fordham, including Hall of Fame coach Vince Lombardi. Firstly, we would like to talk about student identity and interaction. Even prior to COVID 19's emergence and interruption of normal life as we knew it, NYU students would often struggle to have any semblance of connectedness or pride in the university, rather associating themselves with their schools, Stern, Tisch, CAS, rather than the university. Due to lack of a proper campus, which the university has leaned into as a sort of marketing tool, using slogans akin to "the city is our campus," students often do feel isolated in respective bubbles outside of the school, whether it be in their dorms or as a part of the small sect of the school that they usually attend. However, since the pandemic began, this loneliness has skyrocketed as a majority of social interaction now comes behind a screen on Zoom or wearing a mask. Since there are no true NYU only social areas outdoors, we use Washington Square Park kind of as a de facto home for the students, yet that's also open to the public. And our idea to remedy all of this is to create a Division One football program, as it would be a meeting place for students and a way to demonstrate their pride in the violence. In a survey done by Digital Promise and Langer Research Associates, out of just over 1,000 college students interviewed, 65% said that their biggest challenge was not having access to other students outside of the Zoom classroom setting. Although some classes have returned to in-person lecturing, many of these problems still persist, as there are very few university-sanctioned areas to congregate outside of the classroom, and many clubs have been forced to suspend operations or go entirely online, including NYU's Quidditch team, which is on the right, including yours truly, as we won a Northeast Regional title. It is especially difficult for those living in dorms, including the entire freshman class, to meet up outside of the classroom, as they are restricted from having anyone enter their rooms due to pandemic control measures. We plan on measuring success through many ways, but largely focus on how often NYU students wear our merchandise, atmosphere at game days, social media numbers on accounts like the would be newly created at NYU football, and sales metrics on teams and gear. Basking in reflected glory is this concept created by Dr. Robert Cialdini that fans with the teams associate themselves more after a win with their college teams, and how important team success can be to students and students' camaraderie. The use of "we" referring to the school and school teams will help students feel like one cohesive base instead of a loosely connected group. This would also make a phenomenal marketing tool. Division One sports teams serve as marketing tools for universities, and it is a completely free way to show off your school to the country and entice applications by showing the student body. In a Temple University case study, Dr. Jeremy Jordan says, and I quote, "What that meant in terms of the commentary that was being had at the national meeting level about Temple, the football program, university, Philadelphia in general, all benefited. They saved roughly $38 million in marketing funds because of the football team in just the year of 2016 alone, where they didn't win any titles. They went to a bowl game, but relatively in college football, it wasn't that successful. NYU is already one of the most selective universities in the country, but this increase of applications would push us towards that upper echelon of schools globally and allows us to target both those who want to be in New York City because of the financial and social power of it, and those who would like more of a traditional college experience, having those game days and college football Saturdays, as opposed to what we have now. Here are some examples of schools that have seen significant improvement in their applications. You see the University of Central Florida, whose football program has gradually been getting better, but this survey ended before their most recent self-proclaimed national championship season, and yet due to the Golden Knights increase on the national stage, their applications have nearly doubled. Same with Temple, which saw an especially large increase from about 2012 to 2017. And then the obvious choice is Alabama, who have created a football dynasty and went from roughly 10,000 to 40,000 in this 16-year span. This would also bring many sources of revenue to the university. Firstly, the obvious direct ones are TV rights, merchandise deals, ticket purchases, endorsements, alumni donations, and boosters, which is something that they especially can't really target as well due to the lack of a Division One program, and also game fees and bowl game fees. But indirect, there will be a heavy increase in applications due to the creation of one, and you will save millions of dollars of money in marketing, which can be used elsewhere. Costs involved, yearly costs for the athletic program would definitely increase. North Dakota State University, who recently made the jump to FCS from Division II, report yearly spending around $25 million. We would expect similar costs, as a majority of that money does go to administration fees, as well as fees to conferences, the NCAA, and scheduling and travel. Wichita State just fully created a football program from scratch and spent about $75 million, but a vast majority of that went into renovating their already used facilities for other athletics, including 28 to rebuild their old football stadium from the 70s, as well as 21 million into the new practice facility. As we plan to share facilities with college or professional teams around the New York City area, of which there are many, these costs will likely be smaller. However, we will likely have to pay yearly rent or come up with another advertising program with those that we partner with. And now I would like to talk about the 5-year plan that we have. Phase one, which should be completed by 2022. Schools do follow a 5-year matriculation plan to change divisions. The University of St. Thomas in Minneapolis is the most recent example, but UCSD, Tarleton State, and Dixie State are also very current examples. Phase one, the NCAA must see sustainability of the program, meaning you have to acquire places to practice and play for the long term, as well as the funding involved. NYU should have no problem with the funding, as we have one of the largest endowments of any university in the nation and can just use some of that originally until the program becomes self-sustainable. We plan on reaching out to teams like the Giants, Jets, about playing at MetLife on Saturdays, but that is unlikely due to how crowded the schedule is. So we will focus on sharing a portion of their practice fields, especially while they are on the road. And stadiums like Red Bull Arena, Citi Field, the potential new NYCFC stadium, and the upcoming Queensboro FC stadium would be more likely. Especially with those two, we would be able to leave our mark on the building of the stadium. Phase two would be finding membership in a conference. NYU will easily meet the requirements of a Division One university, as they can push the programs that they already excel in to a Division One level, sports like women's basketball and golf. Doing this in conjunction with the football team will entice conferences, both for the prospect of just another top tier academic and athletic university, and also the ability to market schools and the conference to the untapped football market of New York City. The largest hurdle will be attendance requirements, as the NCAA set a 15,000 attendance average once out of every 2 years to continue being a Division One program, which may stretch the requirements of the stadium depending on who we partner with. Phase three is building our player coaching and administration base, which should be finished by 2024. We will plan on using the transfer portal, as 2,500 players used throughout last season. Name, image, and likeness rights mean big markets like New York City will get a massive advantage in that, and there are also no major competitors in college football throughout the city. Recruitment will also be easy for those same reasons, and college coaches can recruit early, leaving their mark on the roster and game plan, as well as entice players with a top tier education as well as phenomenal athletic program. Former Heisman candidate Spencer Rattler recently asked for his transfer and is reported to go to UCLA, which is not necessarily a football powerhouse either. Phase four is the beginning of play. We will generate exposure through the creation process, create our branding early, and sell merchandise before the first season, host events for students and alumni to meet coaches and executives, and we will entice students with a great game day atmosphere, giving away tickets and discounts, as well as offering transport to stadiums using NYU buses, and securing television rights deals to ensure our games are broadcast globally, as NYU is a global university. And finally, the Heisman Trophy was modeled after a former NYU football player in Ed Smith, and it is time we bring one back to the university. And here are the references available. It would probably be easier for you to see them on the document that I also shared with you, and I hope you enjoyed.